Howdy, folks. Good evening, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Soldering with Javi. Let me wait for you guys to populate and say my hellos in the YouTube world. All right, I am. A second. Let me. Good evening, Andrew. How are you? Give me a second. Let me just quickly switch something here on the settings. Bear with me, folks. I'm still here. I'm just working on a couple things. And let's see here. That's better. How are you, Andrew? Andrew, from what it seems, since you're here, might as well talk to you. I have a feeling I'm going to be getting back to the property on the 31st. I'll let you know as far as my schedule, because seems that my daughter has a makeshift prom, and with Corona and stuff. So we're all getting ready around the house, the backyard, getting it ready. Just a few friends over, so it's not really a prom, but everybody's going to keep their distance. It's a couple weeks away already, but everything's already opening up, so everything's all okay, we suspect. Anyway, March 30th is that date, so I gotta stick around for that one. So I was planning on leaving the 29th or 28th, or earlier, but I'm not going to make it until the 31st. So if you're still up for a wonderful, let me see, what day is the 31st? Out of curiosity. The 31st, yeah, I'm not going to make it there until Sunday. So if you either want to do it during the week, anytime, I'm free the 2nd. In the world, May. We're in May. That's the first. Okay, the 2nd, from Tuesday on until Sunday. We can do the bamboo challenge. I like that. That's a great name for it. How are you doing, Ed? Good to see you. Today I cut a few. I got some more orders in, so I cut a few. I have some front panels, and I have a backing for the front panel because the front panel by itself is very flimsy. Great material to engrave on, and great material for panels, for a boat and stuff, but it needs a backing, so there is that. And I shall endeavor to as I stab my mini screwdriver into my thumb. That's not fun. Never is. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Perfect. Gotta remember to trim these down, but all right. Oh, sweet! You're back at work. That's fantastic. Hey, Bobby, how's it going? I'm just basically. I was in my room cleaning up. In my regular room. I'll show it to you guys. Probably next 1 or 2 sessions, I'll be in there doing some work, and I was picking up from. Believe it or not, I still had boxes that I had not unpacked from the move. So, okay, where are the? I'm gonna have to get up and look for them. I'll get up and look for them later. In the meantime, let me just I go to I'm gonna so I was picking up the room, and so I'm a little out of breath, but not too much. Just working on getting these things. That's not good. Oh, no wonder. I'm going. It's not going to leave space to me to tighten the nut, and I had a washer in it still. It's just one of those days, folks. One of those days. There we go. There we go. Now let's see how it works, because I know I had this precisely calculated so it would fit perfectly, and sure enough, it does. So I'm basically putting the. I'm just going to put a bunch of panels together today. If I get around to it, I might do a little bit of soldering. But, it's just been a long week. I've been tiling the kitchen. I finished tiling the kitchen, and it's well, Andrew, you know about that. I know you were doing it a short while ago. It's I want to say back-breaking work, and it is, but it's mostly knee-breaking work. Thank goodness I had some good set of. Hey. Oh, no. Well, I just realized, I opened this whole box and I didn't even look at them. I ordered. Let me go ahead and order on Amazon right now. I ordered a whole bunch of 5-pin connectors. 5-pin connectors from Amazon, and that was less than 2 days ago. It was like they would come in the next day practically. Well, they sent me a bunch of 4-pin connectors. Now, luckily, I mean, I've got tons of them, but I hope to be making hobby boxes for a while. Now I won't have to order for a year or more, but the 5-pin connectors are the ones that I was a little short on. Not I've got enough for the clients that I have, but wow, I can't believe that. Let me double check, make sure it's what I ordered. And there they are. Four-pin, sure enough. Ugh. I'm a bit of a yo-yo. Okay. Let's I'm slightly upset. I'm not really upset, but it's not a big deal. It's like 30 or 40 bucks. But I'd rather have 30 or 40 bucks in my pocket for a year than a bunch of connectors. I'm not going to return them. There's no point. It's just more work for me than anything else. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the next batch. Let's see what we got here. Every time you search for 5-pin DIN, you get the other type. I don't like those. They're uh, like the old IBM keyboards, the old CB microphone. Well, the CB microphones are 4-pin aviator, but 5-pin DINs. They use them on. The type I'm talking about. It's the older, like I said, the old keyboards, which is different from the 5-pin DIN that I use. So I'm going to search for. I hate to do it, but 5-pin aviation connector. There they are. See, that's frustrating. I found a 10-pack, and it's 4-pin. It's they throw those in there. You search for them. That's what happened to me last time. You search for something, and sure enough, they say, "Oh, that's okay. We got some right here," and then they're not the right ones. The truly frustrating part is that I found a great deal on 10 of them 6-pin and 4-pin, but I can't find the 5-pin anywhere. I mean, I could find tons of them. I just not at that price, not at the economy deal or whatever. Still looking. Evening, Marcelo. How are you doing? Now I found 7-pin for it's frustrating. Again with the 4-pin. Everywhere you go, you look for them, and there's 4-pin. 4-pin, 3-pin, 4-pin, 2-pin, 7-pin. It is quite frustrating. 6-pin. I'm telling you, they do everything except the 5-pin, and then that means I'm just not going to buy them. Because that's just not right. I'll buy them in bulk from China if I have to. Direct. Forget Amazon. Here's one for the incredible price of $10.99. One item. That's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. But if you look hard enough, just about everything's available. Let's see if you guys are saying anything. Yep. Good evening, Troy. How's it going? Oh, Big D in the house. Good evening, Big D. Let's see here. Okay, so hang on a second. Let me see something. You say 10 GX 16.5, 10.99 Amazon. That's what I'm looking for. I don't see it. If you can shoot me a link to that. Oh no, you're talking about something different. Never mind. I'm looking right now for aviation connectors. Normally I get them for 10 of them for 10.99. They're a decent brand and stuff. I was gonna start buying them in bulk from China, and then so now all over the internet, I see 10 of them for 10.99, like I always get 4-pin, 6-pin, 7-pin, 3-pin, 2-pin, everything except the 5-pin that I need. It's very frustrating. And then they got them for $8.99, but that means that 10 of them are $17, $8.99. That's $18. That's not right. I'm not paying that. I'm just not. Because I'm not raising my prices anymore. It's like it's just I'm tired of it. I'm tired of everybody. Obviously it happens, but yeah, they just do not want to. I'll find them. There it is. Oh, $18. No, thank you. Apparently, the 5-pin are worth a hell of a lot more. Cheapest I found was $14. That's not right. Nope, sorry. 6-pin. So as I was telling you guys earlier, or for those of you who came in late, I got the backing material for the front panel. So I've been putting a few together, and because I got a couple more orders, and so I figure I'd get ahead. And I pulled out the box that I just got today of 5-pin DINs, and I didn't realize. I thought I ordered 45-pin DINs. I ordered 44-pin DINs. Well, it's not unlike me to keep an extra stock of stuff, and it takes up space, but so now I'm looking for. I mean, I've got enough for 5 more boxes, but these are the kind of things that take a lot of time. These are the kind of things that right now I could start soldering these things and have a panel ready. This takes 5 hours to solder all these little. Well, let's see. It's let me do the calculations here. 4 times 4, 16, 26, 29. 29 connections plus the other ends. So you're looking at about 60 connections. 60 connections, approximately 2 minutes apiece, 2 hours. So just for this front, 2 hours. Not including the, add an extra 15 minutes to crimp on and do all the plug stuff. But basically a little over 2 hours just for this thing. And these are the kind of things that I could do ahead of time if Amazon didn't screw around with the with these things. There's always eBay. And it looks like I'm going to go to eBay in a one or two more clicks, because they want $8 or $9 more than the regular amount. Let's see, catch up on the things here. Evening, Dave G. Oh, check my email. Will do. Email. Why am I doing this the hard way? I got a phone in my pocket. Take a look here. Currently unavailable. That sucks. I appreciate the link. Yeah, it's unavailable. Man. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. What's up, Dave? How's everything going? Oh, yeah. You just yeah, probably I ended up buying them all out, which is probably why they're unavailable. But oh well. It's a shame. I'm going to have to go the more expensive route, or who knows. I found some for $6.60, and it only cost $14 to ship them. Crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Sometimes some people. All right, let's check eBay. One more page of Amazon, but that ain't happening. All right. And then I'll check AliExpress, because you know what? It takes 2 months to get here, but for now, I could order that much ahead of time. Five pairs, 4-pin, 4-pin. I need 5-pin. Okay. Found some. Even cheaper. 276 available. Great. Okay, so 5-pin, 10 set, thread connector, aviation plug, and dust cap. Ooh. Throw those things away. They're useless. All right, so let's buy a stack. So, folks, I apologize for the delay here. Not that you care. Just talk amongst yourselves. I am, I am purchasing some parts. Man, okay. I like the. Let me see. I'm just reading an acknowledgement here, making sure I order the right thing before I continue. So, all right, let me go back to the questions and see what we got here. Troy, 10 set GX12. I like the GX12, but the GX12 is a lot smaller. It's got a lot smaller cup, so it's more difficult to solder. I could solder either one, but I prefer the bigger cup. It's a better connection for the GX16. Um, um, how you doing, Russ? Good to see you. Let's see here. Make sure I got my my orders in. Just out of curiosity. I'm just wondering how much I can get, like a whole pack of those. Wow. Let me see. 89 cents. Not bad. I found AliExpress, so I'll I'll order a whole stack of them in the future for the future. But for now, I'm happy with my little order here. And let me just do one last thing. All right. I'm going to have a bunch of these coming out of my butt. But hopefully, the based on what I'm seeing, with everybody being happy with the boxes and the orders, slowly, one a week or so, continually coming in. But I'm happy that I'm happy you're happy, and so it's a safe bet that these are not going to go to waste. But yeah, that was a little disappointing because on purpose, I bought a lot of the 4-pin, and I'm talking a lot of the 4-pin. So I so the fact that I have um, the fact that I just got in an order of a lot more 4-pins, well, that didn't raise me any and stuff. So I might have a little. Well, I'm not going to say anything, but in the near future, I might have a little video on something that I'm working on. So um, you guys will probably enjoy it quite a bit. So some of you may even uh, purchase the a new thing I'm working on. But anyway, for now, I'm just chilling, working on the front of the boxes. I got to remember to put. See, there's a reason I use the plug. I'm happy that you're happy that they're happy. Yeah. The best tool to shove these things inside these holes, because I make them very tight tolerances on purpose. You know, I don't want them falling out. Is the actual plug itself. So that's all I'm going to do tonight, folks. I'm just going to sit back and attach a bunch of connectors, and perhaps I'll cut some cables all to the right length, sort them, and have them ready if there's time. Now, all that being done, that's in preparation for next week, where we will be soldering with Javi, and I'll be doing all these connectors, as many as I can do. In fact, I think I'm going to try my best, because at most in one of these sessions, I've been able to solder 2 panels. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have 6 panels ready. So let me just go ahead and try my best at the next session to get them all soldered. I'm happy if you're happy, if I'm happy. Yeah. I'm not going to attempt to say that quick. Let's see. Yep. Those quarantine videos were fantastic. Okay. That one doesn't go there. That's a 4-pin. So let us get rid of that. All right. So at least we'll have all of these put together with the 4-pin connectors. So that'll be there's that's something. That's something. I have a few of the 5-pins, so I'll reach in and grab them and set those up as well. I do have my 3-pin connectors here, so like I said, I'm planning on putting all the connectors in today, and then next week we'll do that. So let's see. What's new? I got a project I'm working on. I want to see if I make my my box as portable as possible. Not my, well, yeah, my hobby box, but the CNC in general. I mean, obviously, I'm not dragging it around with me, but I'm seeing if I can confine it to a very limited space rather than having a whole, you know. I used to run the Colossus with, well, practically a computer as big as the Colossus. It was an old computer of mine, and it was in one of those huge. It's a 12 bay case, so you can imagine. It's it's stood about yay tall. It stood about 4 feet tall. So um, there's no need for anything like that. And so when the power supply burned out on it, I said, forget that. I swapped the power supply, but I put it all in a small case, and I'm going to see what I can do to make the whole thing smaller. Because I'm getting a bit of an aversion to things that take up space. So, for those of you following along on the Make Room for Hobby series, I apologize for not updating the latest videos. I've got videos there since up to September when I put my container in, but I never gave anybody a tour of the container. I never gave. I never. I mean, I put in I put in electrical for the container. I put in. Ooh, that's not. That's interesting. This is interesting. I have a connector here that, well, we'll see if I can fix it or not, but well, that's not good. You know how normally on these connectors there's a little tiny nub on the bottom in the middle, in dead set in between two pins of a 4-pin connector. Well, this one is on right under one of the pins, so it's offset by 45 degrees. That's a reject. It happens. If anybody would like to join me for a chat or whatever, let me know. I'll be happy to send you a link. And, you can pop in and chat in person virtually. If I'll be should have more than enough time to put these all together. You got it, Russ. Give me a sec. Copy. Let me search. When's the last time I sent you a message? There you are. And paste. How's it going, Russ?
All right. Because I came to the party late.
What's that?
I said I came to the party late.
There you go. Yeah, we're just here.
I've got this where I've supposedly get all the notifications, but I didn't see this one.
Yeah, I got to do a better job of planning these ahead of time, but I end up going, oh my goodness, around 6:30 or 7, I end up going, oh my goodness, it's Monday or it's Wednesday or it's Friday. I gotta start setting up my link, and then that's when I start doing it. And then so I end up it ends up broadcasting it at 7:30 or something like that.
Yeah,
and that's no good.
well, that's why
Well, it's fine, but
I went and checked, and I was subscribed, and it had all notifications, and I never got one, so I was so surprised that it didn't pop up.
yeah. And howdy, sir.
There's the man right there, the one and only.
How we doing?
Man, he's got the right shirt on today. Yes, sir.
There
Man.
you go.
Represent.
Represent.
There you go,
You and your.
I knew that would happen. I got a phone call.
that thing ain't important.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a sandwich coming here pretty soon.
Sounds good.
Boy, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we had. What did I have today? It's always something. Oh yeah, today was Taco Wednesday.
Ah.
Whatever. But yeah, I had some ground beef, put some seasoning in it, and had some tacos. One of my daughters likes hard tacos, the other one likes soft. My wife likes soft tacos, I like hard. So it's
Well, you have to get a mix of both.
Oh yeah. Well, it's all the same ground beef, so we're all good.
I kind of had a little bit of that myself, but I had some leftovers from last night. We couldn't decide on what to get, but my wife says, I'll just make the old standby. And I said, what's that? She said, our cabbage casserole in that Instant Pot. I said,
oh, man.
Maybe get
love
the
that
big
stuff.
pot. I love it.
Yeah.
I just finished the last little bit of leftovers, and I said, that's not enough. I'm hungry.
I haven't cooked in a while. I mean, I've been home, and normally I'm the one that cooks, but ever since this Corona thing, Carrie's been home all the time. So she's, I guess, and with me being gone for 5 weeks, which is rare, she was cooking every day, and yeah, now we're taking turns. But normally, I'm home all day.
Yeah.
I like to cook. They prefer my food, so I which is, she's not a bad cook. It's just she gets home exhausted. She teaches, and well, now things are a little different because now she's still teaching, but online she's only teaching for a set amount of time. It's and so she's done by 12:30.
Yeah,
and so. I mean, she gets a lot done. And I'm beginning to miss my own cooking. I mean, I like I said, I like her cooking and stuff, but there's certain dishes that I make, like I found a copycat recipe for a Cracker Barrel's hash brown casserole.
Oh yeah, I like that.
And I put a little twist on it, but it's freaking delicious. It is.
What kind of a twist? Because I like that, and I don't want you to mess it up too bad.
No, there's not much. I mean, there's it's basically, let me see. It's got onions, obviously, lots of onions. Hash browns. A lot of times what I do is I first I'll I'll hash brown the potatoes myself. I'll put them
Right.
through the grinder and stuff. Sometimes I've bought the frozen hash browns, and that's fine. But I mince up the potatoes myself, and then I freeze them
Yeah.
because they got to be frozen. And so
Hold that thought.
yeah.
Hold that thought. My sandwich just got here.
Oh, go
I'll
for
be
it.
right back.
I'll be here. So yeah. And my potato soup. Oh, I love my potato soup. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm always up for some answers. Always up for questions. I enjoy, sharing the knowledge. And it's kind of funny. Let's see. Share some wisdom on CAD programs, Robert Sams is saying. Well, I got to be honest with you. I've been spoiled with Vectric, and to the point that I used to. Here's the wisdom I have to share, and it's basically whatever program you have, and you'll get advice from the AutoCAD people that they love AutoCAD. You'll get advice from the Corel Draw folks that they love Corel. You'll get advice from the Illustrator that there's nothing like Illustrator. Look, it's basically ultimately I've been in the graphics business for quite some time. 1988 to be exact. 1988 I first started on the Mac 2 SIs with it was called Quark Express, page layout program. I've used all different types of page layout programs and all different types of illustration programs, Illustrator and all this, to create vector images and files and 3D stuff. And bottom line is, whatever you choose, most of these have very comparable features. Whatever you do your research, and whatever you choose, stick to it and continue learning it, because what ends up happening is you get very, very, the more you use a program, like with anything else, the more you use a program, the more proficient you get on it. Right now, I've used Vectric so often and so recent that I can do anything with curves and vectors and stuff on it. When I go back to, say, Illustrator, I have to almost relearn it. Some things are like riding a bike. Programming is not. Rather, certain programs are not. Corel Draw, I used to use it all of my high school career. All throughout all my high school years, in the yearbook and designing stuff for the yearbook and all this. And these were the early days. We're talking late 70s, early 80s, or mid 80s. These were the very, very early days of Corel Draw and the very, very early days of graphics. And I got so proficient at that program. Heck, Quark Express, which is not a Vectric program, which is not a vector program, but rather a page layout program, mostly for newspapers and stuff. That one, I got so good at that thing that I could put together a full page ad in less than 20 minutes. I mean, copy paste, and resize the full blown thing. I was a blur. Well, which is why I got hired in the first place. But um, years ago, we're talking a whole lifetime ago, practically. So again, I stress any program that you use on a regular basis, you're going to get good at. Um, you know, Dave Gatton, I'm sure if he was here, he's been using SolidWorks. When he was in the industry, he was used to SolidWorks, and it's a whole different animal because that's more two-dimensional parts and frames and cabinets and metal cabinets and things like that. Well, I mean, he could run circles around anyone in SolidWorks back in the day, and then he hasn't used it in so long. It'll probably take him a little while to ramp up and get proficient with it, especially with upgrades and stuff and changes. But it will take him a considerable amount longer to go back to that speed that he was at. Same thing with me and some of my other programs. So what I'm getting at is, right now, my favorite happens to be the Vectric software, because I can do pretty much anything regarding vectors on Vectric. On drawing. Now, if you're talking drawing, for instance, modeling up a piece, here's another piece of advice. Some wisdom for you, as it were, Bobby. If you're talking about, let's say you want to create something and create the plans for it. All right. So let's say we'll use Dave Gatton's bench plans as an example. Okay. Dave Gatton has a set of bench plans. Now, well, no, that's a bad example. Let's say, well, yeah, it's a good example, but let's say that's what you want to do, and then this is not so much for the CNC community, but it is and it isn't. Let's say you have something with a set of 2x4s or a cabinet that you've designed, or something like a piece of furniture, whatever, or like in Dave's case, bench plans. Obviously, you don't want to design bench plans in Vectric software or CorelDRAW or anything like that, but a good program for that, in my opinion, it's a little bit of a learning curve. But once you learn it and get good at it, it is probably the single most useful drawing program that you will ever have, which is called SketchUp. SketchUp is free, or a version of it is free. There is a pro version that gives you a lot more, but everything an average person needs to do, he can do on the free version of SketchUp. I'm drawing my house on SketchUp. Architects it used to be AutoCAD, used to be the norm. SketchUp is now one of the 3 or 4 programs that you use to have a digital version in order to upload for the permit department, stuff like that. Well, that's for building. Now, for bench plans, or for something, or like, obviously not bench plans, but you're creating I'm creating a CNC table. The best thing I would want to do is draw up the plans in SketchUp. You have different colors, it shows different dimensions. I mean, well, you have to do all that manually. But in the end, you have a very, very nice presentational product to give them, a nice drawing to give them. As far as working with CNC, again, I go back to Vectric. That's where I'll say Mark Lindsay comes in. Yeah. That does seem like Dave's trophy in the background there. Oh, excuse me, folks. Getting a little tired here today. Well, come on. I know I got more. There they are. I know these are not the only connectors. Apparently, Dave went off to take a phone call, and Russ went to have his dinner. There you are.
Sandwich right there in front of you. You just can't see me. I don't want nobody to hear me munching.
There you go. All right. That's it. Well, you're good. Yeah. But yeah, as far as drawing programs go, now, if you're talking 3D, Aspire, pretty pricey. Fusion 3D, a lot less so. But Aspire is far easier. Well, all the 3D programs it'll take, again, it's a bit of a learning curve because you got to get used to certain things. Now, what's his face on Spindle TV? Laney Shaughnessy has he's been doing some really cool stuff with 3D lately on Spindle TV, and those are great shows to watch. You know, if you're in the
and be prepared to sit for a while though.
Yeah.
He's a lot more long-winded than Mark Lindsay.
Yep. That he is. He's extremely detailed. He'll explain every step like Mark, but we're talking. He's actually going to do a full-blown 3-hour show, and his stuff is a lot more complex. He'll do a few more things. He'll explain it every step along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, they're usually available on his site. The whatever he made, some of them are available for free, you know. But the more simple stuff. Now, one more thing about CAD programs in general, but one really more about drawing than anything else, or types of CNC work, if you will.
Well, before you get into that,
another
note on the 3D modeling and drawing those kinds of things. Most of your so quote unquote professional modelers, most of those they use either 3ds Max and ZBrush, and make their models in that and ArtCam. Which ArtCam's not out anymore, but it's Carveco now.
Right.
And that actual program is $7,000 or $8,000.
Yeah,
I think. And but I think they have a version of it now where you can purchase it and pay monthly, like a subscription, or
right.
if I'm not mistaken. But you can do pretty much what you want to do in Vectrix Aspire.
Yep.
You just have to get good at it. That's all, and it takes a lot of practice.
And that's the key. That's exactly it. It's whatever you use, practice. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun learning Aspire. Yeah, I mainly use that now because I can do anything I want with Aspire. That in VCar Pro I can do that as well in Aspire.
Yep.
and stuff. So I've been trying to practice with those, and it's a slowly but surely kind of thing.
Yep.
I think I need to get out of this show and come back in and change my name to Hiding from Dave. I seen his thing down there, here to keep an eye on me. I just now saw that.
Go ahead. I'll let you back in. When you,
Okay. Let me
that'd
do
be
that.
funny as heck. Here to keep an eye on Russ. Oh yeah. I'll tell you. The only thing that I wish I had my, I found I found out that a 19 millimeter socket wrench is the perfect tool to tighten these things. Hey, I actually might have one here with me. Maybe I brought it in this pack. I'm trying to remember if I brought it or not, because I'd prefer.
Well, I'll tell you, if it's like mine, it'll be stuck in the same place where my 10 millimeter socket is.
Yeah, 10 millimeter. Don't tell me about it. You know how many 10 millimeter sockets I've purchased in my life?
That's amazing.
Every now and then, it's either 10 millimeter or 7/16. Those are the magic numbers, or 9/16 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I finally found my 10 millimeter after looking for it for who knows how many months. I found it.
yeah,
And it was attached to my 3/8 inch ratchet that I didn't even know I was missing.
well,
So
see,
I found two.
For me, the 10 mil stuff is it's always when I'm working on the car. It's always 10 millimeter. Those or I don't know. I don't know what it is about 10 millimeter. Those magic Chinese numbers. The 7/16 for me is when I work on trophies. I actually purchased 5 nut drivers. These special nut drivers that have a hole down the center of them.
Yeah.
So the long rod of the trophy, so you could just still screw in from the bottom, tighten it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a special 7/16 long tool that fits on my drill. A driver.
Mm-hmm.
All these special tools for doing trophies and stuff. But even so, 7/16 is one of the wrenches that I usually always have 5 or 6 of them laying around, because I buy an excess amount on purpose, because I have on numerous occasions never had them. Success.
You hear me clapping?
I hear you clapping. I am going to quickly tighten these all up. Oh, look at that. That's so nice. Oh, it popped right off. Oh, well. I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, just when you're going good.
Yeah.
Something happens.
Yeah, see, the problem with some of these is the bless you.
You heard her all the way in the front room. That's amazing.
That was easy.
That was a loud one.
Yep. All righty. There we go. Yeah, you don't want to over tighten these, because then they pop they pop a thread. I mean, it's the weirdest. I mean, they're certainly not SAE 8 what is it? 8 grade 8.
Yeah, Dave should have put a sheet or something over that trophy so nobody could see it.
Well, he probably forgot he had it there. Well,
yeah.
that might not be the trophy. That might be just the prototype. But he did show it before.
You're not getting none of my sandwich, dog.
What is it with this? Yeah, I just
It's because you're doing it live.
yeah, that must be it. If it wasn't for
Uh-oh.
that,
Everybody get an Amber Alert?
not yet, but I
just did.
suspect any second now.
I just did.
Okay, that's it. Next time I make these backings, I'm gonna cut. See, here's what I do with the. Here's what. No, it's not done yet, Troy. I know what it looks like when it's done. So here is what I do with these things. Is I actually put them in the CNC. I cut out the. Well, obviously, first thing I do is I pocket. This is 1/4-inch ply, but I know that at most I have a 1/4-inch thick space. These connectors fit on a 1/4-inch max. So if I do a 1/4-inch and the 1/16 of the or 1/32 of the other plate, it'll take me over. So what I do is I go 3/16 above the table. I pocket. So I don't know if you can see them, but I've
Not really.
no, hang on. That's too. Let me see something here. Hang on. There.
Yeah.
You see how they're pocketed? I've got pockets around each section of there. So in the end, I have so I could fit the nut on there. Sure enough.
Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way, man. You
Best
got
laid
it.
plans of mice and men. Now they're not fitting, and I just don't feel like, everything's a delay. And now what do I gotta do? I gotta make a jig to put these in the machine to, because when I cut them out from a big sheet, and I cut them out, 7 at a time. So. I could always just take a 60 grit and just sand the hell of them, and that's probably what I'll end up doing. But
yeah, it's probably easier.
Yeah, all this work. I have a feeling. I don't know. I can
hold
still
on,
do
hold
it.
on. Here he is.
Big Orange Dave. Hey, Dave, you got a certain. People have been commenting about a certain trophy in your background there. Orange Dave. Hey, Dave, you got a certain. People have been commenting about a certain.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
I hear you fine.
I realized I had YouTube on over here and I had the speaker on, so everything was echoing.
Well, oddly enough, it wasn't echoing until you got back. It probably bouncing off you.
I had the mic muted, so you.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
As soon as I opened up the mic, it
echoed. Yeah.
It started echoing. Hiding from Dave. Let's look at him.
Well, I see you here to keep an eye on Russ. I didn't see that till a while ago. You can't see me, can you?
I see a little whatever that is. And my dogs are making all kinds of racket.
Yeah.
That there is my my entry into the Texas Meetup CNC Challenge. I took second place with that thing. It's my granddaughter in a fire hat that I carved.
The what? CNC Meetup Challenge.
Yeah, the one where you came to Texas, remember?
Oh, okay.
With Becca Miller and all Fort Worth?
Yeah.
Yep,
that was a long time ago, brother.
Yeah,
I know it was.
That's as they say in Star Trek lingo, that's the before time. All right, I'm taking these all apart.
He put them all together. Now they're taking them back apart.
I went to go tighten the nuts, and I don't have enough threads on them.
Threads on them, yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. You and me both.
When I get mine, I want it right. So you go ahead and pocket it.
They're all to my highest standards, which is beginning to annoy me, but my own high standards for stuff is just getting in the way all the time. But now we're good.
Well, since you can't do that, what else you gonna do?
Today,
Yeah,
I'm
do a
gonna
little
cut some.
soldering.
I'll cut some cable.
Ah, okay.
I got plenty of cables to cut. I got because I just got 2 new rolls of cable in, so I'm gonna cut the rest of these up into my standard lengths. And where's my socket? There it is. Undo. See, this is me. This is the computer side of me talking to myself. I'm actually saying undo as I'm unscrewing sockets. It's
You
like I
think
had it's like I had a big Control Z on my life. Okay, let me undo this. Oh, Javi, undo, click. Yeah.
As long as it doesn't go the opposite way when you say undo.
Yeah.
You're wrong. So what's been going on, Brother Dave?
Oh, not much. I'm a little disappointed. Amazon let me down today.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Well, I was working on a project and I need another little tool that was supposed to be here today, and it's not happening. Be here tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, they're dropping the ball lately, man.
Let me ask you a question on that.
All right.
Are you sure it's Amazon or is it whoever they mailed it with?
Well, according to the tracking number, it's the Amazon van bringing it.
Okay. Well, then that is pure Amazon.
Yeah.
The reason I asked that is because I told y'all that I ordered some bits from that MLCS woodworking site.
Yeah.
I ordered one, and then I went back, and 20 minutes later, and I ordered another one, thinking, well, they'd probably put them in the same package.
Oh, no.
They did not do that. So what they did, I've got the first one in about 3 or 4 days. But the second one, I haven't gotten it yet. And let's see, today's 13th. That rascal took 3 or 4 days to get from Philly to Houston. And it got to Houston on May the 7th. And on a normal situation, I would have it at my house the next day. But it's been sitting in Houston in transit to get to Beaumont, which is my town, since the 7th. That's 6 days. And I still don't have it. And I called the people, I talked to them, they said it's in transit, it's in Texas, it should be coming. And that was 5 days ago. And so I called the post office today and I said, hey, where is this rascal? And they looked it up, saw the same thing I saw. And
they're not very helpful at the post office.
Well, he told me that he would send them an email over there to tell him that I was looking for it. He says, I can't really do anything about it until I have it to give to you. And I said, I know I retired from y'all's butt. I know what y'all do. So you ain't going to fool me with no consumer speak, I think.
Yeah.
And so he supposedly sent him an email and hey, look, let's speed up the process, man. Find this little thing and bring it to me.
Yeah.
It's one of those quarter inches with the half-inch tip.
Thanks for reminding me. Now that I'm here, now that Dave's back on here, I'll do my usual: buy something from Amazon whenever Dave's around. So it's just our thing. Hang on, let me go and get myself.
Well, Dave's already got his eye on Amazon right now, I think, looking for the next project he's going to buy.
Let's see.
Uh-oh.
RD.
I'm always on Amazon.
Yeah. I've been spending, according to my wife, too much time on there myself.
Let's see. Let's go returns and orders and bit. Router bit. There it is.
I was surprised though these bits over there, these particular ones, they're only $9 and $10 for each one of them, and of course they're not long as I would hope. I needed them to be a little bit longer. The bits are short,
Yeah.
probably about 2 inches, maybe 2.5 at the most.
I'm a big white side fan of the white
Right.
side bits.
I looked at every one of those, and I couldn't find one that had a 1/4 inch shank with a 1/2 inch end mill on the other end. This is the only place I found them. So I
Okay.
scarfed them up. I have to see how they work. I got a lot of projects that I've modeled up for a 1/2 inch bit, and I'm ready to roll.
Okay, so I ordered a. What the heck? Okay, here it is. I ordered a RU 4700, and now this is the RD 4700. And add the cart, 2850, 2850. That would be proceed to checkout. $60 and place my order. Done.
Well, I might
Big
as
D
well
said he ordered a part from Texas and it arrived in Detroit in 4 days. Sat there for 4 days before moving to the next, or 6 days before moving to the next station. Well, that sounds like about where I'm at.
Yeah. I've had some of those orders myself. I've had them where they're not in a hurry, so what the heck, and they sure enough they'll just sit there forever.
Well, those rascals at the post office, they got to be working no matter what. So they need to hustle that piece up, especially since I got the first, and they didn't put it in the same bag, which really, ordering them 20 minutes apart on the same day, it's just unbelievable that they wouldn't ship both of them in the same bag. They had them all in stock. It's not like they had to go out and find one. I was really thought that they put them both in the same bag.
Well, sometimes they do orders. Well, it's like me. I had an order the other day. Somebody bought a hobby box, and then somebody else bought another one. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Corona. And then and then so the first, okay, so one bought a box, second bought a box, the third, and then the next order that came in was the first guy said, oh, you know what, now that I've bought a box, I'd like to get could you ship a router box with it? And I said, yeah, I'd be very happy to, but I let him know that I gave him the option. I do them in order.
Yeah.
It would be very easy for me to grab a router box, throw it in the box, and I can't throw it in the box with the hobby box. I still got to ship it separately, but it's very easy for me to throw it in the box with the motors and ship it all together. So he had a choice. I could either send him the box and the motors, and then when I finally get to it, I'll get the router box, or I can ship it all with the router box. But what I was getting at is that second guy that ordered the box, sometimes you gotta prioritize, but I'm doing them in order. So if somebody say, I try my best to be fair.
Right.
If I have a spindle controller box, let's say made up, and it's sitting there, and someone orders one right away, and I've got 3 hobby boxes that I haven't made up, well then that spindle box control box is going in a package, and boom, because it's not taking away any time from the other 2.
Right.
But if I haven't made it yet, despite the fact that it takes a tenth of the time to make, it still takes me a good hour to put one together. So I'm not going to sacrifice 1 hour of somebody else's build because they were here first, And so I can understand, a lot of different places have their different, what's the word? Process systems in place.
I'm trying to figure out what Dave Clemens is meaning by that comment.
Which one? What do you
Russ
say?
and Dave need to get tested now.
Oh, from my sneeze.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. 6 feet away.
Well, Dave's closer to you. He should get tested first. If he's okay, I know I am since I'm in Texas.
Well, I know I'm okay from the beginning, so I don't. You know, that's one thing. People, and now with this crazy time, it's so funny because even now, when I want to say it's almost all over, thank God, but we'll see. Now in this crazy time, people sneeze, and all of a sudden,
People start running.
People start running. Holy cow! First of all, there's allergies. Second of all, in my case right now, I'm working with wood, and the dust is getting in my nose.
Right
now, I mean, no, we woodworkers wouldn't know anything about sneezing to sawdust. Not at all. Everything's corona with us. But the big one, the funny one, I think, is the perception, because I mean how we've changed our view of the world. I find myself now, it's so weird. I find myself now looking at old movies. I saw a movie the other day, and there were a bunch of people gathered around, and I'm thinking to myself, aren't they afraid they're going to catch something?
Yeah, man, it is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah,
and it's going to stay like that from now on, probably.
Yeah, it's nuts.
You're going to see people walking around in stores with masks on, and maybe gloves as well for quite some time after all this. When they finally open up, it
annoys me to no end because I don't like. I'm an anti-mask and anti-glove guy. Well, okay, I'll put it this way. I'll keep my distance from everybody, and I'm not going to be sneezing on anybody. And if I'm in public, I'll definitely sneeze into my arm or anything if it happens. I'll do everything in my power not to. So in that sense, I'll be careful. But if I go to the gas station, and now you're thinking, what's the danger of the gas station? The gas is going to kill all the germs, and it probably will. The gas that people spill on the pump will probably kill any coronavirus. But lately, what's been happening at gas stations is there's a nice little attendant going around wiping off all the pumps.
Oh, really?
And he doesn't do it in between each. I mean, this is over at the, there's a Sam's that's doing this up there. And he doesn't do it. He does it every so often. So I'm thinking to myself, that's got to be worse. Because right now, I mean, if there was residual gas and fumes on that pump, I guarantee you no coronavirus is going to live on there for more than a few seconds. I don't know. I'm not a coronavirus expert. But I would think that's preferably safer than completely wiping off keeping that thing so clean that now somebody does have corona will touch it. They're not going to get around to cleaning it again for another 10 minutes. Meanwhile, or half an hour. Meanwhile, 5 or 6 people would have touched that pump.
Right. So, well, most people just think about the handle. But then you don't stop and remember you put your credit card
buttons,
in, the buttons.
Yeah, that frightens the hell out of me. That's the part that gets me.
Yeah.
Every time I go, let me get a little piece of paper to hit my little buttons and stuff. Because
yeah, we keep some wipes in the truck here now. After I get done, I just wash my hands with them wipes.
Yeah, when in the worst part of it, I found myself. It was the funniest thing. I went to Sam's Club, and all of a sudden they're wiping the carts and they're handing us wipes and this and that, and that's wonderful. On the way in, on the way out, they didn't. And I'm thinking to myself, somebody may have picked up the bag of potato chips and put it right back,
Right.
and then now I picked up the same bag
Right.
and less than 3 days later. So there's a possibility. And then
You're
so now
screwed, man.
so
You
now
just
so
don't.
now so I found myself the first time I went back to Sam's up north, I found myself picking with my two little fingers, with my thumb and my forefinger, all everything. I handled that, and I left my other three fingers to drive the car back home with my fingers up in the air like this. So
Oh God!
no.
I bet
I
that
was
was a sight.
Oh yeah, as soon as I got home, I washed my hands, and then I felt comfortable. Then left all the food except for the cold food. I left all the food in the truck for a day. I figured the heat of the truck will burn off anything. That was my one day of paranoia, and it hasn't surfaced since. But now it's like, okay, at the gas pump, I will wear gloves
Yeah.
more than anything
That's
else, because I mean,
good thing.
it's not a bad thing. You don't want the smell of gas in your hands anyway, but not that you care. Hell, I used to every time I worked on my car, I had the smell of gas in my hands. Why? Not because I spilled gas, because I was always working with grease, and the best thing to get rid of grease is grab that little gallon
Gas.
can of gas.
That's what we used to use
Oh man, it's awesome,
until we got
Gojo.
Gojo and
Yeah.
whatever else they use now.
Yeah, orange cleaner. Yeah, but I'll tell you, it's crazy. All the Corona crap,
I hear it.
Yeah, the handle on the entry door would be worse. Luckily, every place I've gone to, Troy was saying, every place I've gone to has been automatic doors.
Oh
So
yeah, that's the best.
I've been very lucky that way, and then it's like it's like with the bathroom. When you have to push a door to open it, and tell me if you've ever thought of this. When you have to open the door, like to the bathroom, going out of the bathroom, you're thinking to yourself, I wonder how many people didn't wash their hands.
Oh, I've thought that many times.
But I'm getting to it. And then so I think to myself, okay, everybody's probably going to grab the handle here because it's the most worn out.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab the handle over here because this is probably the least place where somebody will grab it, and then I'm thinking to myself, what if the guy before me that didn't wash his hands thought the same thing?
You see, how long do you sit at that door trying to figure out where you're going to touch it to get out, or are you waiting for somebody to come in?
Oh hell no, I'm not that guy. If it's a push door, I'll kick it with my foot or hit it with my elbow or just plain frickin' push it and done. I'm not gonna
hear that.
I mean, I'm.
Clyde says he keeps a small bottle of hand cleaner in his pocket.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays it's good to do that.
It is now. Yeah.
I still haven't done anything like that, and I should. But I was always an anti-hand cleaner guy, and I kind of still am. Because I'm thinking to myself, look, number one, if it's your turn, you're going.
Yeah.
All right. So if he calls you up, you're going.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, why am I going to risk? I have no doubt that all of these people this year that have been cooped up inside and not exposed to any type of diseases or anything, they're going to get hit hard next year.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Maybe that might not be the case. That might not be the way it works. But if this is your normal lifestyle where you rarely interact with people, then no change. But if you're the type of person that's always like in New York, always interacting, all of a sudden you stop interacting completely. Now your immune system is thinking, there's nothing to worry about, and it'll just, drop its immunity level, if you will. Again, I'm not a doctor, so So I'm theorizing here, but I've always been.
Doctors that said that keep getting their video taken down.
What's that? The doctors that
It's
say
what
that.
you're talking about. Those two doctors that were in California that kept saying that, having germs isn't a bad thing. That's what keeps your immune system going. And,
There you go.
everybody was sharing that video, and then YouTube keeps taking it down, which means it then goes away on Facebook and all that. So it's
Yeah,
all.
it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
To each his own, but I haven't wore gloves. I haven't wore a mask since day one, and I don't intend to.
Yeah, and I haven't.
And they can call me selfish or
No, I bought myself.
if they want to. I don't care.
I bought myself a little neck gaiter because it had my logo on it. I haven't used it yet.
I have.
But-
I've used mine.
But when I went out to go get the tile, and this was extremely, extremely frustrating. I went over to get the tile, and it was a complete surprise to me because I hadn't been out of my house here in Miami since I got back, and there was no need to. My wife does all the grocery shopping and all this. What a shocker! When I was up there, I didn't wear my mask. Some people did, some people didn't. Half the people or a quarter of the people wore masks. The rest, nothing. And that's fine. It was a normal, some of the places, okay, now they're letting in less people, like Home Depot, there's a line and this and that. Well, go early and then you don't see a line. Well, but when I got home, plastered over every door, at least in that place, Miami-Dade County regulation number such and such and such. All masks must be worn at all times. And then, holy crap! This is the reason I'm leaving this place. This is one of the many. 54 years here, too long. So you go to the tile place, now you got to wear a mask because Home Depot, and then I lucked out because I went to 3 or 4 tile places. They didn't have what I was looking for. When I found, then I found a place called Tile Depot. I should have gone there first, and they had a similar color, and not the same color, but something that I could use at a good price. The lady attending there wasn't wearing a mask, and I go, perfect. I didn't have my gaiter with me, my neck gaiter. I left it at home because I never used the damn thing. The only thing I had was stuffed under the back seat was an old jacket, an emergency jacket in case I get cold. And so I grabbed this. It's a windbreaker. So I grabbed a windbreaker, tied the arms behind me. I got this windbreaker hanging here. And that was my freaking, that was my protection or everybody else's protection. But it lasted until I got into the store. As soon as the guy that had a mask on left, and it was just me and the lady, I kept a 10, 20-foot distance, dropped my mask, and said, this is what I need, this is what I need, this is what I need. No problem.
Troy's left the house.
Yeah, and I'm going to shut her down here. You guys, obviously, welcome to remain. I'm going to stop the live at this moment. So, guys, Poppy's Wood
I
Shed.
thought you were already off. I come back a while ago, and I just happened to look, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, he's still alive. I thought you were already off.
I usually do about an hour and a half. And so, folks, good evening to all. And let's see, special hours. Yeah, Sam's has that also, Clyde. Unfortunately, at 54, I'm not quite a senior citizen yet, but
I'm old enough.
Yeah, so I can't get all the good stuff. But in Lady Lake, speaking of that, in Lady Lake, it kind of doesn't help if you're a senior citizen because it's the Villages, and the Villages is the largest retirement community in the United States, and basically their population of 55,000. So if you have early for senior citizens, it's more crowded than
everybody shows up, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you guys have a wonderful evening, folks, and I will see you all out there on Friday for another Soldering with Javi.
See y'all later.